With you being a year older.
What's going on at right guard right now with Barnes and Billy Ross? How's that kind of working out rep-wise, and what do you see from those guys? You're probably, sure, leading them a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they're both coming along great. They're obviously still both young guys that still have some stuff to learn, but, I mean, just the camp experience going against our D-line and just, like, the constant work that they've been getting in, I mean, they're both coming along tremendously. I can't say enough about how hard they've worked and how much they've really applied themselves to come along. So, I mean, it's still a pretty fierce competition, but, I mean, whoever's there, game one is going to be, I mean, we probably shouldn't miss a beat.
Have you seen either one separate himself between Barnes and Ross?
I mean, it's throughout camp. I mean, it's a grind, you know. I mean, with young guys, even with old guys, I mean, you have your good days and you have your bad days. So, I mean, the competition's been tight. I mean, there's still, I mean, it's obviously on the coaches for who's gonna make that final call. But I mean, they've both been coming along great. They've been working their tails off, and I mean, I mean, those are the guys. Whoever ends up at that right guard spot is going to be, I mean, they're going to do what we expect them to do. So
now, with you being a year older, having more experience, how have you been able to pay that forward? You know, you said you learned from Bentley Spain, so how have you been able to pay that forward to younger guys like Ross and Barnes?
Well, I mean, the thing, once you get experience, you become an older guy, you always have to remember what it's like to be a younger guy. You know, every single one of us remembers what it's like to be young. We've been in those shoes before. So, I mean, young guys, I mean, it's especially like with Barnes or something in their first training camp ever, like that's a really tough experience for everyone. So, I mean, you just kind of have to, you know, pull them aside and just be like, hey, like, come on, like, you can do this, like, we've all been there, like, that kind of thing when they get down on themselves. But other than that, it's just like the little techniques, the little intricacies that you kind of learn just from being experienced, that you can kind of tell them, like, hey, you know, try putting your hand here instead of here, that kind of stuff, you know. Now with Barnes obviously being a true freshman, highly touted recruit, how has he kind of handled being thrown into the fire in the sense of having to battle for that position with Billy Ross? I mean, how has he handled that pressure? He's been all right. I mean, he's been good. He's physically, I mean, way ahead of where I was coming in as a freshman. I mean, he's just strength-wise and size-wise. I mean, he can play if he ends up getting to play. Like, I have no doubt that he'll be able to physically keep up with it. Just getting in through camp and stuff, I mean, football is such a mental game. You're getting so much thrown at you, and that's what's really the hard part, is being a freshman. But, I mean, he's handled it tremendously. He's coming along great. So, I mean, honestly, like I said, whoever ends up being that right guard, I have no doubt that they'll do an unbelievable job.